Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of From the Shadows. If we could get this episode over 150 likes, that would be bloody amazing. Right, let's do ourselves a question of the day. I think I've answered this one before, but not as a question of the day. I'll just throw it out there so that way we can tick it off the list. Why are you a Fulham supporter? Why am I a Fulham supporter? Basically, as a kid growing up, I didn't come from a family that sort of had like a sort of pressure to support any particular team. Like my mum is a Palace fan, and my dad, technically, I suppose, is a Hibs fan because that's where all my family are from. But I was always into rugby when I was a kid, rather than football. But then I sort of started to become more into football at a later date, and I started watching, back then it was called the Premiership, I think. It was that ITV highlights show back in like 2002, 2003 kind of time. And I used to watch it because I didn't really support a team at the time. I used to like Liverpool a little bit, but then I never had any kind of affiliation to them. And I just really liked the look of Fulham. I know that sounds strange, but I just did. And I don't know, Fulham was the sort of underdog team that always seemed to overperform. Obviously that's in the past now. Now we're just... yeah. But yeah, that's basically why, you know, sometimes you have to pick a team and sometimes you need weird reasons to pick one, but I didn't want to go for just the standard old big teams like all my friends did, I guess. That was the other thing. So there you go, a bit of a hipster, I suppose. But yeah, if you got any ideas for a question today, do drop it in the comments with the hashtag QOTD. Right. Now, in our last episode, we were obviously sadly beaten 3-0 at home by Paris Saint-Germain. Dominic Gape didn't exactly help us a great deal in that one, but what can you do? We got to move on. Now, this month, actually, there's a few things I want to talk about first. Basically, with the fact that we won't be looking at Helio, I have gone out and I found a couple of other players, which I want to show you now. Now, this is my shortlist. This just contains a few players. So, obviously, Andre Samsonov and Luis are already joining us. I've just had them on my shortlist ever since because we were scouting them. Now, Helio, again, is... once again, not really that interesting. Leonardo Sanchez was one guy I was looking at from Argentinos Juniors, who, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure about. Personally, I think he's a little bit too old to go to being superb for us, and I think we need to be looking at players that are better than that for now, really, because I think he'd probably cost us a fair bit too, which I'm a little bit worried about. Now, the players I'm really interested in, firstly, it was Mohamed Al Bekri, but... I don't know, I think he'd cost us a fair bit, and again, I'm looking for more younger players that have got a bit of room to improve, basically. That's where I'm kind of going. Now, the two players I want to show you guys today are one particular one, but basically we need to strengthen our defence in the summer, and that is the area I'm going to be going after. So we're going to be signing young, promising defenders that can slowly work their way into our team and shore us up. I don't want to be signing players that cost us £12 million, because that's all of our transfer budget gone. You know, we're a club that's working on a pretty shoestring budget compared to the rest of this league, and we need to be so careful with it. We can't afford to be shelling out that kind of money. I did it on Aslan because I really was confident that he could be that player for us. So basically, the two I'm looking at, this is Levan Yushel, or apologies again, I can't pronounce these names very well. He's a bit limited, but he's only 16. He's at Trabzonspor at the moment. Now, I don't know how much we'd be able to get him for. My scout isn't super convinced, but I still think there might be something we could get from him, so I might pick him up anyway. I mean, I can see some slight little issues with him, but at the same time, I think that there might be something to have there. He'd be one of those players that, again, is very much suited for a very specific role in the team. But he's not the one I'm really excited about. This is the one that I'm desperate to get. Now, I even tried putting a bid in. The issue is, I don't have the money at the moment to make the deal. So I'll have to hope that nobody else puts a bid in before the summer, because the moment that summer hits and I get our transfer budget for next year, I'm going after this guy. This is Sebastião Wagner, which is a fantastic name in itself. And he's got one of those ice gem haircuts. And you know I love an ice gem haircut. Now, this guy I am very excited about, mainly because, firstly, he's a fantastic looking centre-back. He's got great natural fitness. Some of his physicals are actually very good for a 17-year-old. His heading is 19 at the age of 17. He's very determined. You know, his flair and vision aren't great. Dribbling and free kick taking are a bit low. But other than that, I'm very, very pleased with what I see at the moment. Now, the other thing is that makes me really want to have this guy is usually when you send a scout out to watch the games, they'll say, you know, they did this, they did that. My scout has sent me reports of probably about, I don't know, 10, 15 matches now. He's played a lot because obviously it's Brazil. And every single one it has said that he was fantastic and that he won almost every aerial challenge. So for me, this guy is an absolute must sign. I don't know how much we'd be able to get him for. I think when I put the bid in, they wanted about 5 million for him, and I think 5 million is a reasonable amount. So I think this guy will be joining us next year. Now, I can't do it yet, but at the end of the season, do expect Sebastião Wagner to be joining us. I really, really hope we can get him and that no one else gets in. He's on loan at Ponte Preta from, I can't remember, is it Santos? No, it's Vasco da Gama, or just Vasco. I think that's the same club. Now, I can only assume he was playing for the under-18s because they kept telling me that he was playing games. So he must have been an under-18s then. But even so, I still think there's a lot to be had for that lad. And I think he's going to be one of my marquee signings for the summer. So I just thought I'd let you guys in on that before we get into today's games. I've got some others that I'm looking at, but those are the two that I've been really interested in for now, and I've sort of been using my time wisely in scouting them. I don't want to spend too much money on the scouting, so we're going to have to be very precise with it. Now, getting into the games. Now, it's been tough. It really has, because we've had some quite difficult games this month, and we're doing our best, but I just worry. Now, the top 6 places qualify for Europe, with the top 3 getting Champions League and the top, 4 through 6 getting Europa League. So if we were to get into the top 6, we would secure European football. Whether or not we'd last that long in it, I don't know. But the point is we'd still be in there. And that is always a bonus. And it would potentially give us a bit more money in the summer that I could maybe spend on, if we could get sort of 10-15 million in transfer funds, then I could use it to get him and a couple more fantastic defenders in, because that's sort of the next area of our team that I'm looking to improve. Up front, we're looking solid as a rock, although I'm still looking at potentially getting a young striker in as well. But we did get quite a few from our Scandinavian imports last summer that hopefully progressing nicely. As for the attacking midfield positions, they are absolutely sewn up with the players we've got at the moment, and I'm glad of that. Centre mids, maybe. We're pretty solid in defensive mid areas with Matas as well as Bulens, but it's the defence that really does need that extra bit of strength. And I might look for a backup goalkeeper as well. There's a lot of work to be done, but don't worry, we've got plenty of time to do it. We're gradually building this team up, and I think that's the best way of doing it. I don't like trying to throw loads of money at it to try and get that sort of £40 million striker. It's if you can do it and you want to do it, that's fine, but that's not how I play the FM. I like to play FM like this, basically. It's how I've done it before. It's how we got Red Star to be as successful as they were. Now, let's start off against Lille. Now, I actually expected us to lose this one, and to be honest, I think we bloody deserved to lose it in the end. However, once again, Park J1 is just an absolute monster. Like, Roman Habran gave Lille the lead, and then Benjamin Andre made it 2-0. Now, at this point, they were dominating us, and we'd had barely any chances, and we barely did for the rest of the game. But I threw it on overload anyway, just to see what we could get, just to see if we could get anything from this one. And we did. Park J1 got one back for us before Quintin Pereira, who's been getting a few more goals lately, it must be pointed out, scored what is a vital equaliser for us in keeping us sort of above these sorts of teams, basically, and that was massive. So, a 2-2 draw against Lille. We then went into a home match against Racing Club Lens, and I've never seen like a quicker turnaround than this one, I have to say. Also, note that Ergin Aslan, yet another Man of the Match award. I think that's his 7th of the season. He is hotly tipped to be the winner of the Player of the Season award, which would be unbelievable for a 19-year-old playing for Paris FC. Also, PSG have won the title already. They're 20 points clear at the moment. But yeah, Valentin Iseric gave Racing Club the Lens the lead early on, and I was a little bit disappointed because we had played really well in this one, and I was starting to get a little bit worried, so we actually upped it from control to attack just to really sort of thump at it. Then we got a rare goal, I think it might have actually been his first ever goal for us, from Carlos Ruiz, cutting inside from the back, basically, and then insta-highlight, they lose the ball, Ergin Aslan up the other end, bang, 2-1, lovely stuff. He also got an assist for Carlos Ruiz's goal, just playing it into his path. They left a huge space, and Ruiz got very far forward for once, and scored a fantastic goal. So Aslan, with a goal and an assist in this game, as well as Man of the Match, he's just on fire again. He is the main man, as someone once said in the comments, with a, you get the joke. Olympique Marseille in the next match, though, we were just piss poor. We went straight back to it. Away from home, we are perhaps using control a little too much. I went on control again because I thought there was a chance for us to get it. They were 8th in the league, we were above them. I think we underestimated them, and we paid for it in the end. Mikhailo Zivkovic made it. Well, no, he didn't. What I'm talking about. We won a penalty, which again I thought was a little bit dodgy. To be honest, we've seen a few of these lately that just don't look like penalties from above. I know it's hard to tell, but sometimes you can clearly see them win the ball, and then it's still given as a penalty. And this was one of those situations. It looked to me like their defender quite clearly took the ball, but we got the penalty. Alberto Cherry dispatched it for another league goal, and then it was time for Zivkovic, and of course Roxroy Dornay Cotillon, which is an absolutely spectacular name, and sounds like the name of some kind of obscure perfume designer. So maybe he has that as a side career. Does he look like a perfume designer? No, I'm not entirely sure, but it is a glorious name nonetheless. So there we go. A defeat at Marseille was not ideal, but sometimes it happens. Next up, though, is just the perfect result. I couldn't believe this. Now, this was the semi-finals of the Coupe de France. Now, I knew that, obviously, we'd be playing PSG in the final if we were to sneak through. Now, that game still hasn't happened. PSG have had their semi-final postponed, like, 3 times already, so technically we don't know if we're going to be playing them or not, but, you know, we kind of do. So, where do we get to? Nolan Roux gave them the lead in the first minute, and from then on I kind of just assumed it was going to be, you know, a one-way street. Then, however, Samuel Umtiti, now I actually thought this should have been a Partey 1 goal. I couldn't see where he touched the ball, but it wasn't like in the previous game against Lyon where Umtiti's own goal was incredibly obvious. This one was a little bit more, I don't know, like, I'll show you actually, because for me, it didn't really... I couldn't see where he got the touch. I can only assume that he was standing right next to Partey 1 when he strikes this, and it actually ends up going in off him. As you can see there, look, it just looks like it went in off Partey 1. It was his strike, so I don't really know kind of what happened there. But it went down as an Umtiti own goal. What we're done. As an Umtiti own goal, and we took it, basically. Then, playing a few games this month due to the injuries and suspensions to people like Dominic Gape is Noam Mercier, who is one of our youngsters that's come through the academy and actually has got a bit of potential about him. So he's been getting a few games, and well, he was the hero for us in this one, basically putting us in front. Unfortunately, then Nolan Roux, Nolan Roux equalised, but it was turned around by Mercier, and a 3-2 win puts us in probably our first ever cup final. So enjoy that. Now, what that means in terms of what we've got left this season, because the cup final isn't on the final day of the season, it's actually quite a few weeks before that, means that what I'll probably be doing is a double livecom episode as the next episode. So it'll be the PSG, in theory, final, plus the Grijon Bordeaux game on the last day of the season, because let's face it, we're going to be battling for some quite heavy stuff at that point. So I think in a double livecom episode, hopefully that's okay with you guys to do that. So we're in the final, which is glorious, and you never know, if we could pull off the ultimate shock and beat them in a cup final, oh, that would be the first step for me in us taking back the city. Would be knocking them out and beating them in a cup final to win our first piece of silverware. I genuinely didn't expect to get anywhere near silverware at this stage in the save. But there you go. Let's take a quick gander at the squad while we're here. Top goal scorer at the moment, of course, is Alberto Cherry with 24 in 35 starts. Still a very, very solid record all round. As for the other two now, Park Jae-won is pulling away slightly. He's got 11 goals and 13 assists, so 24 points on the board there. Aslan with 12 goals, 10 assists, so 22. But the point is, those two between them are just dominant. I mean, the fact that they've both got double figures on goals and assists is just incredible. If we can keep those two fit next year, with the additions that we're making, I think we can have ourselves a really solid European side. We're getting there, though. And of course, Player of the Match Awards winners is Aslan with 7. But Park Jae-won has got himself a few as well. As for key passes, well, Park Jae-won is up there. And I want to see, actually, if we're still dominating that. Buelen's has slipped away a little bit. But as you can see, those two are absolutely dominating on that one. Buelen's has also covered a lot of distance overall so far this year. So, let's get into things. We're playing against... who are we playing? We're playing Evian today. It's going to be difficult. They always are, basically. You know, they're 19th in the league. They're going to be fighting for their lives. So, as you can see, here's the league, actually. PSG, as you can see, 20 points clear at the top. We're in 6th now. Just the 2 points above the likes of Stade Rennais. There's, you know, we don't want to go on a bad run now. We need to get a win in today's game, basically, just to keep that momentum going. And with 4 games to go, we'll have 56 points and some winnable matches in there, you know. I think there's a chance for us to beat, well... Toulouse is going to be a really tough one, but I think we can beat Monaco. I think Saint-Etienne and Bordeaux, Saint-Etienne and Monaco games are definitely winnable. Bordeaux at home, that's going to be massive on the last day of the season. That could decide massively where we finish. Anyway, let's get into things before this goes on for a little bit too long. Do a quick pick, see what we got. Things should be okay, actually, really. But look at this. This is what I mean about Mercier. You know, he's a 2.5-star player now. He's starting to come along quite nicely. Really like his hair as well. And you know I love a good haircut. So that's looking decent. But yeah, what I mean is, with these players coming in, it's just going to strengthen these areas. So less sort of... more players towards the sort of 9 o'clock than sort of 7s and 8s. I want to get a little bit higher on that. Ruiz is also looking spectacularly good now. 3.5 stars at the age of 20. There's a lot more to come from this lad, and I'm fully expecting him to be a fantastic player for us for years to come. But we need to find the equivalent of him on the left, and of course in the middle, and all over the pitch, basically. So, let's do this. Oh wait, yeah, we are on control, so I wasn't sure. I think I might have changed it to counter for one game, but I wasn't sure which one it was. I think it might have been the Marseille game. Right, we are the favourites, as you would expect. Are we good on that? Yes, we are. Right. 100th appearance. That's impressive, actually, for the youngster. I didn't really... He's just... Mercier is forcing his way into the team, and... I'm really pleased. Oh, Jesper Julsgaard. Those of you who watch my Fulham series, so like 6 of you, will recognise old Jesper. Now, let's do this. I just want to see a win. I'm not expecting an emphatic result like the one we got against Toulouse, the 5-0, but a comfortable, good, solid win here. Maybe with Aslan and Park Jae-won maybe nicking a goal apiece, who knows? Or a few more for Cherry. Just a standout performance from someone I want to see. Bulens again does fantastically well there. Aslan now. I just think that this team is actually starting to mould itself slowly into what I wanted it to be. It's just taken us a couple of years. And I'm very, very glad that we managed to survive last year, because I think had we gone down last year on the last day, that would have been absolutely catastrophic, because that would have basically undone all the work that we'd done. We just had a really poor season, and it cost us nearly. But thankfully this year, we've gone from being a relegation threatened club to being a top 4 challenger. Park Jae-won, and on the rebound, oh, come on now. How has that not gone over the line? I'm gutted about that. I thought Park Jae-won had got that. The two different efforts he had there should have put that ball in the net. I don't know how he didn't score there. I'll be very annoyed if we lose because we didn't put that in the back. That's a shocker of a situation. Boga now, running for Evian. Ducare, out wide to Vindheim rather. Whips it across, 3 players in the box, and why has he run away? Vindheim, ball across it, oh my god, Kembo Ikoko scores for Evian. I think that might be their first shot on target of the entire match, and they've scored it. This is what happens when you don't take your chances, guys. Come on, you can't be losing at home to the 19th place club. I remember when we did that with Net in the second tier, where they'd not won a single game all season. I don't know what my fullback doing there. He's running away when all he has to do is intercept the ball. Very, very bad defending from us. Shocking defending, in fact. We're still looking like the better side, but we need more than that. We need to win this game. We may have to up this to attacking in the second half, to be honest, because at the moment, I can't believe we're losing this. Like, we've not created that many chances that are, like, noticeable, but that one with Park Jae-won absolutely had to be a goal. I still don't know how he didn't put that in the back of the net. We'll just sort of change things up a little bit, go for a more attacking approach. They're playing a sort of back 5 kind of situation, which means that it could be interesting, but we're still looking like the better team overall, so I think we just need a strong second half. That is of the utmost importance. The earlier we get the equaliser, the better, really, because a defeat here would be just awful. Cherry. Oh, goes for Aslan. A long ranger, perhaps, to Gape. Will he shoot? Goes that wide to Peter 10. Please don't shoot. Oh. To Kieda. Now, back to Undai. I think this is going to be one of those horrible backs against the wall jobs that we're going to end up losing. The last thing we needed right now is one of these situations, but I think it's going to be one of those types of games, guys. Actually, wait, no, there's a highlight, isn't there? It just seems like it's going to be one of those smash and grab type of games that they're just going to end up doing us. It's the last thing we need. Mercia now. Ruiz needs to be getting himself forward here, really, but he's just hanging back a little too much. I need to take a little look at those instructions, see if they really are. Oh, that's better. Ruiz now, can he whip a ball in? Goes back to Aslan. Will he get it back again? He does. Can he pick out a pass? Whips it in. Cherry with a big header, and that is an absolutely textbook Alberto Cherry goal. Paris 1, Evian 1, and now we need to get the second goal. That was literally straight out of the Alberto Cherry textbook. Ruiz does brilliantly here with the second. Just a little dinked ball. Cherry is so strong in the air that the goalkeeper's doing nothing about that. Their defence was pretty poor on that play as well, I have to say. Now, what do we do? I'm thinking Pereira perhaps for Mercier, just to give that midfield a little bit of fresh legs. And no, I don't know, actually. I might just... Aslan's not been that great. I've got to be honest. I'm going to try Barguji. Give him a little bit of a run out. We do need that. We need that second goal. Even if it's just a sort of scrapey 2-1 win, that is totally fine by me, to be honest. We've been, overall in this game, the better side, and I want to make sure that we get what we deserve from it. Right, let's close him down a little bit more. Cherry's really wide here. Gape. There's plenty of players coming forward. Peter 10 picks the ball out. It's Pereira, and it's blocked again. Another chance goes begging. We've had so many chances. We've had more than enough chances to win this match. We're going overload for the final 10 minutes. I'm also going to give him a team talk and tell him to push forward. We need the win. We can't afford to draw this game. This is a must-win match. Oh, we're going to draw it. We're going to draw the bloody game, guys. Oh, we just needed one of those chances to be put in the back of the net, and we've just not been able to do it. And there we go. We're going to end up drawing against the bottom, the second from bottom side. Bulens' ball. It's headed away. Weber now out wide. But Boga now, don't let them score a winner. Weber. Yulsgaard, they're just going to try and hang on to the ball and get the draw, aren't they? Damn it. This is the one game we really, really needed a good result in, and we've played well. Not been great in terms of our accuracy, but we've still done enough, I think, to win the match, and the chances just weren't taken. That Park Jae-won chance earlier in the game was so important to put away, and we just didn't do it. That is a real shame of a result, and that could end up costing us later in the year. Potentially could cost us European football, that type of result. The easily winnable games at home. You can't afford to do that. Damn, that's sort of more like out of the book of what we did last year, and we don't need that. So, in the next episode, guys, well, what it's going to be, basically, is it'll be the Coupe de France final against what I think will be PSG, then we'll miss a game against Saint Etienne, we'll come back, and then we'll do the final day of the season against Bordeaux. So guys, if you like what you've seen, please do drop a like on the video. It'd be great if we could get it over 150 likes. If you liked it even more than that, please do subscribe to my channel for more Outcaster icons and From the Shadows in your inbox every other day at 7 o'clock, and I will see you guys in the next episode for a double live comic extravaganza, so to speak. And hopefully we'll be able to get that guy in as well. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.